YouTube, what's going on? YouTube, what is going on? What is happening, man? Of course, it's your guy one more time, DEDRICKHJR, and I'm back with another fragrance video. Smell good, family. Hopefully everyone is doing well, doing great, doing fantastic, positive energy, positive vibes. That's how we rock out here on this channel, man. Positive vibes only. All right, so today we're talking about more mass appealing, more compliment driven fragrances. And it's a steady topic, you know, compliments, you know, you want conversation about how you smell. I totally get that. And it does feel good. You know, somebody tells you smell good or they want to know what you have on, can start a conversation. Those things can brighten up your day. All right. I think that's just kind of a human thing. Somebody compliments anything about you, probably makes you feel good. But disclaimer, fragrances cannot put you in a position to be liked, to be loved, to be celebrated. They can't. There's a whole lot of other things that we have to do as humans, in my opinion. Not trying to tell nobody give nobody a daddy lesson here, but your attitude, your personality, how you articulate yourself, how you dress, how you groom plays a major part. But fragrances like the 5 that we're going to be talking about today, they could definitely create the opportunity or create the environment where you could, you know, be welcomed with a compliment by a complete stranger or even somebody that you know. All right, so these 5 right here, they're really good. They're mass appealing, and they could definitely get a compliment in many atmospheres where we are in the world as people every single day. So let's go ahead and tap in. Up first, from the house of Yves Saint Laurent, we have Sell Myself. Sell Myself, the EDP. I know there's a newer Parfum or Le Parfum version that is on the horizon, but this one right here is really good. At first, when I smelled this on the sample, I wasn't sure where I was at, but continuing to wear the sample, I just fell in love with the DNA. I love the orange blossom. I love that, you know, kind of that lavender freshness to it. There's a kind of slightly powdery tone in nature to this, but that orange blossom is really the show here with this fragrance. I've worn this to the office. I've worn this out for a night of fun, and I've been stopped in my tracks in a restaurant wearing this fragrance. Gentleman wanted to know, hey man, what are you wearing? What is that? You know, and I told him because this really projects and it really carries. And most fragrances that, you know, could warrant compliments, the fragrances kind of get out in front of you. And I spray, you know, around 6 or 7 sprays of every fragrance, unless it's something brutal, but I do the same thing here. So compliments are possibly around the corner with something like this. I know there's a lot of conversation about, you know, niche and designer. We're not here to discuss that at all today. This smells really good. I personally like this a lot. Looking forward to the Le Parfum or Parfum, whichever one. But if you're looking for something to get you compliments, here you go. Check out Sell Myself. I just haven't come across anybody outside of the YouTube space that dislikes this fragrance. I just haven't. All right, so this could get you quite possibly put you in a position for a compliment or a conversation about your fragrance from the house of Yves Saint Laurent. Hey, we got Sell Myself. Really good stuff here. All right, up next, one of the newer fragrances to my collection and one of the new releases of 2020. I believe this came out in 2024 earlier this year, but I love this stuff. This is my favorite from the entire line, and that's saying something. From the house of Rabanne. I think they dropped the Paco, so we're going Rabanne. We have Invictus Parfum. Invictus Parfum is what we got going on today. I love this stuff. Just get a couple sprays in the air. This is, in my opinion, every single Invictus flanker in one bottle. But the featured note here is this black soap. This black soap, and I'm smelling in the air. It complements the sweetness, the slightly powdery nature. There's also a salty feel that you can get here that you get from Legend. I think it was Invictus Legend that has that kind of salty, oceanic, aquatic feel. But Platinum used to be my favorite, but this is hands down my favorite now because I am a fan of black soap, like bar soap, and just that aroma is just so good to me. So this was something I was very interested in. I got my nose on it for the first time and I was like, yo, I gotta have a bottle of this. So this is good stuff. I've been complimented with this fragrance. And every fragrance that we're talking about today, I have been complimented. That's why I'm talking about it and bringing it to you guys. So this is something in a party atmosphere, event atmosphere, wearing this on a date. You know, you could be going bowling or something like that. Like, this is quite possibly going to create, help create the memories that you are experiencing, whatever you're doing. So compliment magnet, in my opinion, mass appealing DNA with that Invictus lineage, which is so classic in the community. I really love this stuff, and it's good. From the house of Laurent, we have Invictus Parfum. Invictus Parfum. They changed up the bottle and everything with this one, all right? Up next, we're gonna kind of up the price point here. And this might be the most mass appealing niche fragrance of all time. I'm just gonna say that. And I know that's a broad and wide statement, but I just haven't come across nothing in my time that, although it's really, really good and on a niche level, but the DNA is definitely very mass appealing. People gravitate towards it, and it's really, really good. From the house of Parfums de Marly, we're talking Layton. We're talking Layton, all right, the OG. I mean, I remember the first time I smelled Layton, I was like, wow, okay, this is it was like a dang, what's the words I'm looking for? It was very high quality, but also smelled like something I may have smelled before the first time I smelled it. But getting it on skin and the wearing experience, you get the cardamom and the apple and the slight, you know, minty pop in this in the beginning of this fragrance. But as this continues on, that vanilla really shines. It stands out. The cardamom, that sweet and spicy type of vibe. It's warm, it's inviting. I've worn this stuff everywhere. I've worn it everywhere. It's one of my go-tos for the cooler months. No matter where I'm going, office, even a cozy night in. Like a cozy night in, let's say me and the wife are just chilling at the house. It's cooler outside, you know, just kind of cozy vibes. I'll spray on 2 sprays of this. We'll watch some movies or some TV or just kind of kick it, man. This is just one of those ones. And compliments could possibly come your way at a high clip wearing something like Layton. So even though it smells from it doesn't smell, in my opinion, it's not super unique, but this video is not about that. It just smells really good. Really good, you know, and you can't go wrong. Tons of clones out there of Layton, but none of them are better than the original, in my opinion. This stuff is fire. Compliment magnet for sure. Just a beautiful DNA. A beautiful DNA. A DNA that's been done a lot, but this is one of the best. Parfums de Marly probably did it the best, just out of that mass appealing type of vibe. From the house of Parfums de Marly, we're talking Layton. We are talking Layton. All right, 2 more left to discuss. We're gonna stay in the sweet range of fragrances, and this is one that just doesn't get any conversation anymore. I remember when I first started my channel 3 years ago, this was always being talked about, always being talked about, and it just fell off. And I know why. Other fragrances come out, more reviewers, birth channels, and it just kind of gets lost in the shuffle, but this shouldn't be lost in the shuffle. From the house of Givenchy, we have Givenchy Gentleman, the EDP. The EDP, one of my favorites from the line. The Givenchy Gentleman line is one of my favorites, period, in all of fragrance. And you get this beautiful, rich vanilla with this makeup baggy iris that has a sweetness and a powdery tone to it. It's so good, man. It's so good. It's just, it's like Dior Homme Intense, but a little bit sweeter, all right, because of what that vanilla does with that makeup baggy iris that gives off this powdery tone. This stuff is really good. Just get this in the air real quick, just to smell it, man. It's awesome. It's awesome. Now, this might not be for everybody. This is a different take on a sweet, powdery style fragrance because of what that iris does. So I definitely recommend getting your nose on this, but listen to me. I've been in places wearing this fragrance and been stopped in my tracks in a cooler environment, or the cooler seasons, the fall and the winter time, dressed appropriately. This is going to come off sweet. This is going to come off maybe a little bit familiar, but that iris really does something to this DNA. And I personally love it. At one point, this was my favorite from the line, but it's definitely in the top 3 of the line. So mass appealing, a little bit different. That iris really does something to make this a real beauty. This stuff is awesome, man. It's a high ranking fragrance in my collection, 9 out of 10. Does get talked about a lot, but it is available. Get your nose on it, and it could definitely work in environments where you're looking to be complimented. From the house of Givenchy, gentlemen, the EDP. This stuff is good, man. It's sad how things get lost in the shuffle, but I guess that's the nature of Fragcom right now, all right? And last but not least, probably the most compliment magnet of a fragrance in this entire video is this classic right here, this legend. From the house of Yves Saint Laurent, yet again, we have YSLY, the EDP. YSLY EDP. And this has been out, I think, since 2018. We're in 2024. And it still remains the same. Shower jelly, sweetness from some apple, very aromatic, but this thing is powerful. And like I said at the beginning of this video, all of these fragrances, especially this one, really project. So when you first put these fragrances on, they are going to create an atmosphere around you, in front of you, that's going to attract people's noses to wonder what's going on around them, who's smelling like that, whether they tell you to your face or they think it. It has no choice. I'm very confident that putting on 4 to 6 sprays of this and then going straight to your event or your date or whatever you have going on, this is going to, someone's going to pick it up, because it's just that type of DNA. Like I said, fresh and shower jelly, beautiful apple, ginger, spice pop in this fragrance. It's a juniper berry vibe in here that I really like. Juniper berry and ginger do a really good thing. And in this YSLY line, they feature differently, but this is where I think it's the strongest, and it just smells fantastic. Compliments are waiting for you wearing this fragrance, quite possibly. Quite possibly. From the house of Yves Saint Laurent. If you want to skip all the other 4 that I talked about and want to start off with this, you ain't doing nothing wrong. You can't go wrong. But make sure you walk out the house looking like somebody. You understand me? All right. Yves Saint Laurent's YSLY, the EDP. All right, so those are the 5 fragrances that I have today over the growing conversation of mass appealing and compliments. And these 5 fragrances could definitely put you in a position to experience just that. And like I stated before at the beginning of the video, don't think that fragrances can get you compliments, because they can't. Make sure you are presenting yourself in the best version possible. The way you articulate yourself, the way that you're dressed, the way that you're groomed, your personality, how you engage with others, that gets people curious to learn a little bit more about you, see what you got going on, ask questions about so many different things, because now they're interested in you. So keep that in mind. And oh, by the way, you just might smell good to them as well. All right, so let me know down below in the comments, Smell Good family, what are some of your recommendations for mass appealing, complimented fragrances that you can recommend, that we can chop it up down below in the comments with. All right, so as always, I appreciate y'all support. Thank God for the love. I do not take it for granted. We're knocking on the door to 19,000 subscribers. It's incredible, the love that we get here, the support that we get here. I do not take it for granted in any way. All right, so until next time, be cool, be safe, take care of yourselves. Y'all know what it is, man. Positive energy, positive vibes, splag it up, splag it down, splag that thing all around. And remember, what you put out to this world is exactly where you are going to get back. That's for sure, man. That's for sure. All right, y'all. Peace.